I move for no man, no man, no man, no man, no man. We're calling a draw. Just a flesh wound, 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 just a flesh wound. Yo, yo, yo.
How is it that Chris, no matter how his hair falls, it's just always like the sexiest shit ever? Like he just got out of the shower. He's just like fucking pulled his hair back, and this is what we get every single fucking time.
He came out of his mom's vagina that way.
He's got like a vest on, like fucking Aladdin right now.
Like no, this is
right?
Is that?
This is Jean-Claude
It's like
Van
a
Damme.
wetsuit slash vest.
His
I think
chest
he made it
His
himself,
chest is oiled.
bro.
I get ready for this shit.
That's good. That's good. I love it. I got my special drinking glass today.
Yes. Now, Frankie, do you know what movie that's from? With the leg.
It's My Christmas Story. The Christmas Story.
Yes.
There you go.
Man,
Yes.
The lamp. Very good. Impressive.
I love it. Yes.
Impressive.
I love that movie. I had a childhood, guys. I saw all the American movies over here in the Dominican.
Yeah, but you were in South Florida long enough to deal with all us Italians and Jews from Long Island to see the good stuff.
Yeah, but I grew up on watching the Mickey Mouse Club and MTV. What else? I used to watch Kids Incorporated.
Okay.
Alf.
Very
Dude, I wish
underrated
I had
show.
some wine right now. My wine stock is non-existent right now.
Quarantine does that.
I could have used a drink today.
There's still time.
Gary, what up? No, dude, we have we're in lockdown at 7 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys
and
don't have delivery alcohol services?
Yeah, but everything closes at 5 p.m.
Damn.
And in the weekend, everything closes at 5, so everything's like closed by 3.
Gary, what do you got there? You got beer?
Yes, sir.
What kind? What are you sipping on?
This is Golden Monkey.
Yes, that's really
One of my
good.
favorites.
That's
That's
super
your fave,
strong,
dog.
dude.
Yes. It's like
That's
a
like an
double
8 or
alcohol content. Like a
Yeah, it's like an 8
9.7,
or
I think.
9%. Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's a little sour sometimes, but they actually make one called Sour Monkey. I think that's awful. That's the worst. But Golden Monkey's pretty good.
I don't like sour beers, but Golden Monkey's really good.
Golden I like. Duvel I think I like better.
Yeah,
Without
that's like arguably one of the best beers in the world. So
It's really strong.
Duvel,
Yes, that one's also strong.
Yep.
It's got like high alcohol content, right?
Yep. High ABV, baby.
Gary, I saw
Yeah.
a post of you announcing a fight.
Yes, I
Not
just
an
saw
official, not an official fight, but they have told me that October, September, that's when they're thinking about kicking back off. So I have no contract, no opponent, nothing like that. But
Are you cock teasing us?
for now, I mean, Tom had a little bit more information. I can't say when he was supposed to fight, but they gave him a date. So, and it's within that range. So
Wait, Tom DeBlas?
Yeah. So
He's fighting?
he's definitely going to be fighting. He has.
Really?
It seems like they gave him more information than me.
I didn't know he was fighting.
When was the last time he fought? It's been a long time, no?
Yeah.
Long time, man. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say for sure. But
So what? He got the itch?
yeah. He
I
he.
thought
What's that?
I thought his post was referring to you, but I guess it's referring to him.
It's for both of us, really. So I don't know, man. It was so random. It was just like all of a sudden he's like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna be fighting in 1, and then he just makes up his mind, man. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Like he said he was gonna retire like 14 million times, but it's like you know how it is for like really like anybody especially in combat sports. It's like really hard to like actually retire. Like
Yeah,
'cause
I've
you
actually
always come-
How
you
old
can
is he?
always come back. Like it's not hard. Everybody
Yeah.
always wants you to come back unless you've like lost 1 million times or something.
Yeah, and they want to pay you more too, so it makes it really hard.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Tom is probably maybe 35, 37. Something like that.
But
Let me
what
look
was
it
his
up.
record? I've never seen him
It was
fight.
a pretty
What
good
was it?
record. I want to say he was like maybe like 9-2 or something. Let me look it up.
I didn't realize he had that many fights.
Yeah. Let's see.
Is Danaher
Yes.
training him?
Do I have a share dog? Here we go. Share dog. You should. He has been trained by John before. Yeah, actually, wow, I was exactly right. He's 9-2. Yep. So.
How did he lose his
and he's
2
38,
fights?
by the way, not 37.
How did he lose?
His last 2 were in the UFC, and I don't remember what weight classes he did them at. I'm gonna have to take a look to say for sure. Let's see. Or no, sorry, his last 2 were actually in Bellator, but the 2 that he lost were in the UFC. I don't see the weight classes, but I seem to remember like the guy he was fighting, like being like a much bigger than him, like the one time it was somewhere in China, like huge amount of travel, like. I don't know. I don't know if he was like, like a super long camp for it. And then the second one, I'm not really sure. I don't really remember. It was actually, yeah, they're both decisions, so it wasn't like he got crushed or anything, but,
Okay.
he did really well in Ring of Combat.
Yeah, I definitely saw him fight in Ring of Combat. I was at so many of those shows because we had a bunch of guys from our gym fighting in those all the time.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's tough, dude. He hits hard. His jiu-jitsu is good. He can be a big problem for a lot of people there. That division, the heavyweight division, I don't think is super stacked. So I think that, we were just talking about it today, and like him just being in the division, like I think already puts him in like the top 5. So it makes it a little tricky with like who they're going to bring him in to fight, even though he's had like such a long layoff. So my guess is that, his first fight or 2 will probably be like, not the big name guys, but then pretty soon after that, he's going to be fighting big names. They have this really jacked black dude that kind of looks like Blessing. Just like, what are you looking around for? You think he's hiding in your walls or something? Out at you because I mentioned him.
I know exactly what you're talking about, Gary. That guy. He fought Ung Len Sang.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Ung stopped him, but
Yeah.
no, that guy can fight though. Like he's.
Yeah, crazy.
He looks the part, and he can. Yeah, the athleticism of that guy is nuts.
He was in a kickboxing fight recently and just kept throwing axe kicks. Like I've never seen somebody throw more axe kicks in a fight in my entire life. It's just like chop, 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 and you hit a couple of them.
A line something.
What's that?
He's like a French black dude.
Yeah.
That's like
It's
full
jacked, and he's very flexible.
flips, all different kinds.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yes. He's fighting Vitor Belfort.
Is he?
No,
Yes.
really, they gave him the fight with Vitor, huh?
Ah.
Yeah.
Wow. That'll be interesting. I mean, I think Vitor has the tools that he needs to beat him pretty easily, but you never know.
Yeah, with these explosive dudes, man.
It's one of those things
Vitor hasn't shown any signs of wanting to grapple dudes, so.
No. The Phenom's throwing punches. And sometimes spin
Man,
kicks.
I can't wait to see you scrap, Gary. Shit. It's about time.
How long has
Yeah,
it been,
dude.
Gary, since you fought
Fuck.
MMA?
What's that?
How long has it been?
It's been about a year, maybe more. It's definitely been more, actually, because I think the last time I fought was sometime in, it was like last May or something, So it's been a while, dude.
Congrats on your win, Gary. The Dante win.
Yeah, it was a good match. I think I had one of those days, and Chris, you could tell me like, I know my experiences competing, and everybody's got a little bit of a different competitive personality, but for me, I have days where I go out there and I'm just like a little bit more reactive than I am proactive, and I don't pull the trigger on certain things. I'm like kind of waiting for the other guy to act so I can counter. And I think I had like one of those days where it was still a really exciting match. I did a lot of great stuff. I just think I could have pulled the trigger a lot more in certain situations. And the days where I'm like super offensive, like the whole way through, like I think those are my best days of competition. And I just don't think it was one of those days. So, I mean, I won the decision. I thought people looked at it. They thought it was an exciting match. So, I'm happy from an entertainment perspective, happy from the winning perspective. But I think that if I fought him again, I would go in there and do much better.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm most aggressive, I'm probably the most fun to watch, but maybe not my most effective. And I fall somewhere in the middle. And if I think too much, that just like you just said, I'm not pulling the trigger as much. I find that when I am in that middle of being aggressive and smart and aware, really where I'm at my best.
Yeah, I hear you. Because that's the thing that I'm always thinking is like I'm trying not to. I don't know. Like sometimes with the aggression and like I feel as though obviously by making any offensive movements, just like in boxing, I mean, every time you make an offensive movement, you extend yourself, right? So
Right,
like
there's an
open
opening,
for an
yeah.
attack. The same thing's true in jiu-jitsu. So every time I go for something, it means, something of mine is exposed. So there's like this anxiety that you kind of got to fight through in order to actually even make a movement that I think like was there a little bit too much in that match. But you're right. I think the balance is probably best.
Frank's like,
So
yep.
no. I was just gonna say that I totally get it. I've had some street fights that's happened to me sometimes. So I was watching it with some friends, and after like the first 2 minutes, Garry seemed a little bit off from like how he usually kind of like engages. So sorry, dude, I had to bet against you, and I lost $50.
Nice.
Yeah.
I understand.
I mean, come on, man. It's money, Garry. I mean, you would totally understand
Of course.
Yeah, no.
Plus,
There's
I thought I had.
There's gonna be a bunch of Dominican guys coming after me now.
I thought I had a pretty good read on you. You know, us being friends and all, but I guess I was wrong.
That broke up some camp. I can't remember whose camp it was, but they had a coach that I think it was one of the Thais, because the Thais love betting on shit. Like it's
everything.
Like gambling is
like
like a
everything.
huge pastime of theirs. So apparently one of the guys got injured, like an ankle injury or like a knee injury or something, but he was still fighting, and the Thai coach knew it. So he bet a bunch of money against him, and the guy found out somehow and kicked him out of his camp.
Against his own guy?
I can't remember who it was. Somebody just told me this story.
He did the Pete Rose. He bet against his team.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? The dude was losing, right? And then his coach comes up to him and says, "Stay down, stay down." And he looks at him and goes, "Wrong bet." And then he gets up and does a fucking spinning kick and beats the dude.
Frank,
where's that from?
I love you so much, Lionheart. That was fucking
Ooh,
awesome.
Lana, stay down,
so
motherfucker.
Psyched you
Stay
brought that
down,
up.
motherfucker. We get this money. Get this money. I'll split it 50-50. Stay
That's a
down,
great
Lionheart.
Such a
He's
good movie.
like, wrong bet. Garry,
Jump spinning helicopter kick.
please tell me you saw that.
Dude, I haven't. I'm sorry.
It's.
Sorry.
I think the French name is
Stop it
Leon.
right now.
Leon is the
Yeah.
French name of
Leon.
the Leon. And right,
Leon.
Lionheart is the American version.
Oh.
Classic Van Damme movie. Where I got this shirt from, actually, this is the style that I was going for.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude.
Dude, yes, when they're fighting in the pool.
Yeah, it's my favorite scene. When they're fighting in the full pool with
Dude,
that
you
guy
got-
with his capoeira.
You're actually
and shit.
wearing, bro, you're wearing his shit. You got that on eBay
I was just
from the
watching,
movie?
dude. I'll be right back. I can get it.
Gary,
He's gonna
Gary,
bring
you
back
got to
the
see
short
Lionheart, bro. You got to see Lionheart. So he escapes from this prison in Saudi Arabia or some shit like that. He gets on a boat and he gets dropped off in New York, and he has no money, but he has like fighting skills. So he's at this underpass where there's like an illegal street fight going on, and
Sure.
everybody's betting, and he's like, "I'm next. Like I'll go next because this dude's beating some ass." And he's like, "Any motherfucker out there want to fight me?" And he's like, and he raises his hand and doesn't say anything, and he just fucking he gives him like a kick and beats him just by like one kick. And
Nice.
then this black dude comes up to him and tries to represent him. And he's like, "Yeah,
we go.
you're a bad yes, you're a bad motherfucker." He's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Liron." And he's like, "Lion, yeah, Lionheart. We got Lionheart over here." Best movie ever.
Yeah, the black coach who's the ex-fighter. That
Yes.
movie's classic.
So Chris just changed his tank top to a Bloodsport tank top with fucking Van Damme on it.
Come on,
Love
look at the
it.
bicep in that fucking. Look at that thing.
Jesus.
Fucking yoked.
Fucking yoked Van Damme.
I saw this on Amazon. I was like, I have to. It's awful. I don't know who made this thing. It's cut in the worst way possible, but it's Van Damme. So.
As long as it's got Van Damme on it.
So I heard a story, and I could be wrong. My interpretation might be wrong, but who cares? facts should never get in the way of a good story.
Good story.
So, so apparently Van Damme went to TriStar. He's like a huge fan of, George and like, MMA and stuff like that. So he's like in his 50s or something. And he goes into TriStar and he's like watching some guys spar. And I think he tried to coach one of the guys or something, or he said something to one of them. And the guy wasn't, he was like, shut up, old man, or something like that. So like, he's like, get in here if you think you can do it better or something. And Van Damme comes in, and like before anybody could do anything about it, Van Damme like comes in the ring and like spinning kicks this guy in the fucking throat. Just like the boom, and the guy like gets stumbled. It's like an MMA fighter, like a professional, and he's like ready to come after him, and I think they had to separate the two of them or something like that. But they were telling me this at TriStar, that it actually happened. I don't know exactly the particulars, but something to that effect went down.
So Van Damme's going around these big gyms to pick fights.
That's
this
tremendous.
is like midlife crisis for him.
That is tremendous.
But he still got it. He still got it. He fucking schwacked the guy.
He got into some shit with Cody Garbrandt as well.
Did he?
Yeah. He went down to Team Alpha Male when Cody was a champ, and he was teaching Cody some stuff, and they were like kind of like shadow boxing, and Van Damme throws one of his kicks and hits him right in the jaw, and Cody flips his shit, and Van Damme immediately grabs him and goes, I'm sorry, and Cody like kind of flips his shit and goes, what the fuck, man, what the fuck, and then he like calms down, but for like a couple of seconds there, I thought that he was gonna fucking beat Van Damme's ass.
Have you? Is there video of this? You seen this?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Go on Cody Garbrandt, Van Damme.
Van Damme just got so much fucking cooler from both of his sports. Like,
well, he was like a legit fucking martial artist, man.
Yeah, he competed too.
Like
he was a kickboxer.
Guy, so.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, with his whole kicks and stuff, he had beautiful technique.
Yeah.
He had such like
Tremendous,
dexterity with his legs. Like he could throw that thing kind of like a jab.
Yeah.
His kicks. Yeah. It reminds me sometimes of Wonderboy Thompson. The way he's like got so much control with his kicks. Dude, you know what was really impressive? When Wonderboy fought Luque.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking dog.
Yeah.
You've seen Luque.
Just pick them apart.
Chris over at 365.
Yeah. I've seen Luque over there. I've also seen him spar with Ryan LaFleur up on Long Island years ago. I was coaching Ryan at the time, helping him with his boxing, and he was sparring Luque. Luque is a beast. He is. I like his style a lot. He's a pressure fighter with good technique, physically strong, hits hard with both hands. And Randy Brown actually trains at my gym on Long Island over at Belmar Kickboxing, who Luque just knocked out on Saturday. But I knew that was a tough fight because Luque is.
Dude, and that kid is yoked.
Yeah.
Randy Brown?
Yes. Yeah. He's huge. He's so tall and long. He's trouble for anybody just based on his like body dimensions.
Athletic body type, right?
Super athletic, explosive.
He trains over at Henzo sometimes, and he's tough, dude. Like even in jiu-jitsu, he knows how to move. It's not an easy thing. Man, you know what was crazy that happened to him? Speaking of Randy, was that one fight he had? I think he was on top of the dude. And the dude like swung like a fucking stupid hammer fist and fucking knocked him out, dude.
Yep.
And I just watched that. It's like those moments in MMA that make me go, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, because like there's nothing in the playbook that makes that like something that should ever happen. Like it's not like, man, it's so frustrating.
It's like a Hail Mary.
I mean,
it's not even. It's like that shouldn't work.
It just ever, and it's so frustrating. You don't prepare for that shit.
No. I felt like that when I was fighting Pacquiao. I was like, I'm in a position where he can't hit me hard, and then it was like boom, and I was like, what? Like he's on one foot, like throwing a punch from who knows where, and like.
So what do you say? Like he's unorthodox, or just like throws
the
punches
most
from
unorthodox.
weird angles?
He's the highest level unorthodox boxer ever.
He's a southpaw, right?
Southpaw. He's super fast. He hits hard. He's got heavy hands. He's got great footwork. Like he's just angles and constantly punching in places that you look like it shouldn't hurt you or be hard. But
Is he fighting again?
Yeah, he's back in training right now here, from what I hear.
Well, his last fight was really good with Thurman.
Tremendous.
He did really good.
Tremendous. He looked awesome. He looked walking
really
through
good.
shots, and Thurman's a big puncher. I was super impressed. At 42 years old, I think.
He was on that night.
Yeah. Well, bad motherfucker.
Gary, so did you do anything cool afterwards? Any victory lap celebrations?
I mean,
where was it? Where was the event?
Austin, Texas.
Oh, Austin's
Yeah.
awesome.
So, yeah, man. I mean, I was a little worried, like, with whether or not they were going to up COVID restrictions and stuff, talking about, numbers rising in Texas or whatever. But those motherfuckers don't care. I love it. Like, we were at a
do
pool,
it up.
We were at like a pool club, like in the hotel. Like it was nobody's like nothing ever happened. It was great. I mean, you have to wait. Like anytime you talk to an employee to like order a drink or something, you had to like not come close to them and you had to wear your mask. But like when you're in the pool, you could do whatever you want. It was all good.
So you were hanging out in the pool at night?
Not so much at night. It's more during the day. So like I didn't really do anything that night. Actually, that night we it was a disaster actually. My buddy Mike was with us, and he called himself the Sultan of Strangles. He's so funny. But anyway, Mike, he's like this Iranian dude, and he subbed this guy, right? So he did really well or whatever. But we're going out that night, and he was trying to hook up with this chick, right? And the chick had like a really nice ass. I'll give her that, right? I'm not gonna say too much else in case she ever watches, which probably isn't gonna be the case, but whatever. So he wanted to talk to her to come out with us, and he makes the mistake of communicating with her friend who was a guy. And he's like, oh yeah, we'll both come down to the room or whatever. So sure enough, what happens? It's just the guy that shows up at the room, and it's it's like a +1 that you never would have wanted. Like at first I'm like, whatever, it's just one other dude that we're gonna have to hang out with. It's no big deal. He's a fan of the sport. It's not a problem. Some people can be cool and it's like it's whatever, but this guy quickly degenerated from being like a normal person to just like a total fanboy, like annoying jerk off. And dude, it was like
to you?
It was to everybody, dude. It was weird, man. Like he didn't really know us that well, and he's like, Mike's got like a fanny pack on. He's like grabbing the back of Mike's fanny pack and messing with him and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, like you don't know people. Like I was waiting for Mike to knock him out actually, because Mike's got a temper. I always say like going out with Mike is kind of like it's always going to be a good time. He's like a very fun person, but there's always a 10 to 15% chance that everyone's going to jail, including him.
That's a high percentage, by the way.
I feel like
for that outcome.
I feel like that's Vinny the Chin as well.
Yes.
And Vinny's probably double that.
Vinny for sure.
Gary,
what's up?
Where did you guys meet that dude? Like, how
he
did
just
you meet
met
him?
us. He met us in our room after the event. Like
Yeah,
we were
but
all
how
gonna
did you guys
regroup and then go out.
him? How did you know him?
He was the friend of the chick with the hot ass.
And you knew this girl from where?
I didn't know her very well. She came up to us at dinner once and was like, "Oh, I'm a big fan, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And then my buddy Mike turns to me. He's like, "I would die for that girl." He's like, "I would
Really?
crawl." He's like, "I would crawl on broken glass for 5 miles just to sniff her ass." And I'm like, "All right."
I like this.
That
dialogue.
exact same tone
I like this
and
dialogue.
posture and everything. He turned into Gollum there. Sniff on that ass.
So as
Dude, guys after competition, yeah, I get it. I get it.
So this chick just came up to you guys? Is like Austin like a big jiu-jitsu community?
well, it was.
Or
a
are you
big
just
tour-
that
it was-
famous now, Gary?
It was a tournament where a bunch of people were competing. She was
Okay.
competing as well. So like,
Yeah,
anytime I'm
famous.
around like jiu-jitsu people, like yeah, I mean people are gonna know who I am.
Oh, of course. I thought you
But-
said you were having dinner and she came up to you.
We were having dinner at the hotel.
Okay, so there was like the event was in the hotel?
Yes. So pretty much
Oh, that's
everybody
why.
was staying in the hotel,
Okay.
that sort of
Right.
thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It makes me sound a lot more famous than I actually am. I'm famous in
Yeah.
a niche community.
Yeah, I'm like
I
Gary
think
got-
I just thought of the term grappling groupies. That sounds
Yes.
awesome. Grappling groupies. That's good. You should make T-shirts.
The double G's.
Gary's grappling groupies. That's a fucking T-shirt right there. Triple G.
Triple G. There you go.
Triple G.
New Triple
Gary.
G.
So I have a feeling that these jiu-jitsu ladies are a little bit more aggressive than just regular ladies. So my question to you is, do you get slid into your DMs a lot, or
Yes.
or no? Do you get indecent proposals?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a big thing. It makes my life way easier.
Yeah, I would have thought that.
Yeah. That's
Well,
why
I get Gary's like runoff now just from this podcast. they DM me.
Yeah.
Hey.
They're like, I really like Gary. He's like a cool guy, but he's not nearly as handsome as Chris.
No, they're like, I've been
hitting
hitting on Gary for like a year, and he doesn't answer. So figure I can talk to you until I get to him.
Yeah.
Maybe I should update my Instagram page and put like a fight record, like a fake one.
I'm surprised you haven't. A lot of guys do that all the time.
Claim that you're one of my black belts, Frankie. I'll allow it.
Dude, say you're 99-0 in street fights.
I'll be like a university who gives out like an honorary master's degree or something. I'm just gonna give you honorary black belts through
in like a plain white paper and crayon, like my new black belt.
Black belt with 2 Ks instead of a CK or something like that.
Do you guys watch Always Sunny?
Yes.
When Frank had the certificate that said that he did not have donkey brains. That's gonna be your black belt certificate.
Chris, what about the boxing schedule? So you were in LA for a while, and you guys had a bunch of fights. So is that like no longer going to happen anymore, or they're just taking a little break?
No, they taking a little break. So that was like the Summer Series 1. This is all through Top Rank Boxing and ESPN. So they did Summer Series 1. We did 14 shows in 7 weeks. So it was a lot. So they're taking 3 weeks off, and then I'm headed back there in 3 weeks to do more.
This is exciting for sports like MMA and boxing, because ESPN is dying for content right now because they don't have like their regular seasons of like the NBA and NFL, and they need sports.
Yeah, so which is great. A lot of the young guys who would never have made it on TV before, guys literally with like 3 or 4 fights, are now getting like live on ESPN, early in their career. So it's a tremendous jumping point for a lot of these young guys. Did
you see that white dude that got KO'd?
I mean, I called all of them. So.
It was like a highlight reel. It was like an uppercut. This dude was knocked dead. It was like on SportsCenter, ESPN. It was everywhere.
There was a double uppercut where both guys hit each other. There's also a double knockdown that happened during the series. I was like, that's definitely going to be on SportsCenter. I don't know if it was, but I'm trying to think who got knocked out really bad.
I think a friend of mine sent it via WhatsApp. I'll send it to you guys later.
Okay.
I heard that Cornhole had really good ratings now on ESPN.
That's on ESPN?
Yes.
Dude, there's so much crazy shit. Like, dude, you can watch trampoline dodgeball. We were watching. You can watch.
I've seen that.
There's actually a subsection called marble racing, where they put marbles on different teams, and like you'd have to guess like which marble's gonna win different types of races. Some of them are like underwater. It's the weirdest thing ever. And then my personal fan favorite is Slippery Stairs. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Slippery Stairs, but they basically just put like industrial lubricant on stairs and make a bunch of Japanese people in tights run up to the top of the stairs and try to see who's.
It's impossible to get up there.
It's one of the greatest things you'll ever watch.
Is it lube or is it ice?
I don't know what it is. It looks like lube to me. It's like thick.
Yeah, I thought it was like ice blocks, like the stairs were like frozen. But it could be lube. I don't know. I just know that it's like looks impossible to go up those stairs.
It's like gooey, man. It's some serious stuff. And they got like hoses turned on at the top, and some of them they throw stuff at them. It's a great time.
So it's really funny because they get enough people as to where the one on top, if they fall, they like knock everybody down like bone pins.
Yeah. Part of the strategy is when you fall, you elongate yourself.
Bring down everybody. Down everybody with you.
Everybody. So it's pretty impossible for you to like spread out in a way that you can't hit anyone.
I watched an American version of it, and I have a sneaking suspicion that the American version wasn't as challenging. Like a chick I think it was actually a youth version, and a chick just walks like step by step up the stairs like a fucking Jedi. Like I was so impressed. I couldn't believe it. But then it led me to believe that it couldn't be nearly as challenging as the original one.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, there was like a sea of acid at the bottom too. They don't give a shit about people.
They have too many rules, man, over here, and with all the cameras now, everything's watered down over here.
They should have several pit bulls at the bottom biting at their heels so that they have to keep going up.
You're gonna put the risk and incentive up a little bit.
Dude, so I was watching this Japanese dude that was sponsored by like the Japanese government to always win the Nathan's hot dog eating competition.
Kobayashi?
His name was Kobayashi, yes, the tsunami.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
you
awesome.
saw the documentary as well? Or like it was like, I think it was like an MTV segment, like What I Do.
That was a couple years ago.
Yes, it was a while back. Yes.
I'm a huge fan of competitive eating, so like I literally follow these guys. Kobayashi's awesome.
This guy had like an 8-pack.
Gary, he's so jacked. It's ridiculous. He's like 145 pounds, but he benches like 350, lean. And he's like super jacked, ripped up.
And you should see how this guy would practice.
Is his stomach distended at all? Like even though he's
afterwards?
Ripped?
No, not normally. No.
Not normally? Wow, that's interesting.
So in Japan, everybody knew who he was. Like he was kind of like a local celebrity, and every time he would go to like a restaurant, the chef would challenge him to eat his food, and it's like considered what do you call that, like kind of honorable or like a sign of respect if you eat all of the chef's food. So these dudes would fuck with him. Like they would bring him ridiculous amounts of like white rice with like a bunch of seafood on top, and then
they would put like wasabi in it. They would put like super hot shit in it. Yeah,
they would like fuck with him. Like at the end, if he would like eat all the sushi and all the rice and everything, which he did, like they would bring him like a dessert, which was like an icy
shaved ice, yeah,
like shaved ice, like a huge egg shaped shaved ice, and it had like hot sauce, wasabi sauce, like soy sauce, like a bunch of like, I bet he like looked up all the condiments that he had in the back and would just toss it in there to see how he would fuck with Kobayashi.
He's eating this ice cream, Gary, this icy thing, whatever. He's like, this is the hardest part of what we've done tonight. And he ate like mountains of food already, but they brought out this dessert. And he's like, oh, dessert, that'll be good. It'll help settle my stomach. He's eating this thing. He's like, this is really hot, like really, really, really hot. He's like, this is probably the hardest thing I'm doing all night. And he's just like eating it.
Jesus.
And listen to this. When he was done with the shaved ice, all the liquid was in the bottom, and he had to sip it like a soup.
Ugh. That kid's a savage.
That reminds me of like when I was like obsessed with Fear Factor as a kid. Like I just thought it was the coolest shit ever, and I was like, oh man, if I was on that show, I'd fucking kill everybody.
I'd eat so many worms.
We used to like put together we used to make each other like these impossible to drink milkshakes where we just throw all the condiments from the refrigerator into them, and like I'd bet like my sister like $10 that she couldn't drink it.
We used to have an ongoing bet in high school, and we would have guys do it during like in school to drink a gallon of milk on an off period, which you can't fucking do.
Nah, man.
Like you cannot do it, especially as a adolescent fucking teen. So we would have dudes just fucking throwing up all over the place.
It doesn't sound like it's that much. Like a gallon, like a gallon is a lot, but it doesn't like you're like, oh man, I can fucking do it. And
I can drink a gallon of water, no problem. But a gallon of milk, not even close.
Yeah. Well, even a gallon of water, like if you consume that, I'm assuming the time limit's an hour. Isn't that the challenge?
I think so. Yeah. Well, we had less time because it was like on an off period, so we had like
even a gallon of water, like in an hour, like I think you're running a risk of like overhydration. Like you're gonna be like delirious after that. Like even if you didn't throw up, like you'd be. I think Gordon had it happen to him before because he was like weight cutting for a tournament, and he said like, yeah, I started getting dizzy and I felt drunk.
Yeah,
like it's not a normal thing to like drink that much fluid.
Hypernatremia, that's what they call it. It's like water drunk, water intoxication is what they call it.
So I have a question: Is it a myth that no one can drink a gallon of milk?
No, I've seen professional eaters do it.
You can't.
No, they can't. No, they can't.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I guess like the average human being can't.
I'm sure if you trained for it, you could.
Yeah.
I thought like they always used to say that, right? Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah, I have heard of that. Yeah. Like it's impossible. Gary, would you ever want to do like a food challenge?
Yeah, we should do it.
Because I have a friend who's a competitive eater, and
Oh man,
we're
so
gonna do a
I'm going
burger
against somebody that's actually good. That
Well, I
sounds
mean,
perfect.
I'm gonna be right next to you, but we're
Sure,
doing
sure,
a burger
yeah,
challenge in
that's
the
what
Bronx.
we should definitely do that. I'm in.
Because like I'm cool with doing like challenges. Like I won't do hot dogs, I won't do fucking buffalo wings, but like I'll do a burger, I'll do a steak. Like if it's
Okay.
real food, like I'm
Yeah.
super down for that.
Okay.
And I kind of
What do
know
you do
my
afterwards?
limits.
You puke?
No, you just you chill. I mean, I've read some things where you can take like meat tenderizer, like you can like eat that and like take stomach enzymes and things like that. I've never actually done that. Like I've eaten 5-6 pound burgers before. And I've done a bunch of challenges. I really like doing burger challenges, but yeah, no, you just chill. You're not in a great place.
Is THC supplementation legal or illegal in the competition?
I would allow that. I'm not.
Okay, so you guys have never.
If
eaten
it's
to the
legal, my
point where you
chances
puke?
are much higher.
Never eat. No, I puked after eating before. Like not in
From
a
just eating
challenge.
too
though.
much.
Yeah. In high school, after like wrestling tournaments and shit, forget it, absolutely.
I think with THC consumption, I could easily just eat until I vomit. There's nothing in my stomach that tells me that I've eaten too much if I have any level of THC in my system.
Is that like, has that happened to you before?
I know mentally that like I've had enough because I just look at the amount of food that I've eaten and I'm like,
but if it was a challenge,
probably settle the fuck down. But there's no part of my nervous system tells me like, hey, you can't eat anymore.
Yeah.
It's only me like mentally going, okay, you just had fucking 6 cheeseburgers, 37 chicken nuggets, and like an ice cream cone. You should probably calm the fuck down.
I want to see that.
The last burger challenge I did, I got to that point with Gary talking about where my nervous system was like, "You're done, bro," and I was just like, "No, I'm not." There's still a half pound of French fries on this plate. You're not done. I'm not done. We're doing.
I remember one time I was at this Japanese restaurant next to my gym, and they're always super nice to me because like I was like their only customer. So like it was like me and like one other obese family that like ate there, and that was like pretty much it. And so I probably like single-handedly paid their rent every month. So every time
you should probably be a little skeptical or weary of restaurants like that don't have a lot of rotation on the raw seafood.
You should be, but me, I love Japanese food.
It's you.
So I come in and I order all kinds of stuff, and the guy would always give me like new shit to try and like different stuff. So I'm there with Gordon one time, and like the guy, like we pretty much finish our food, but the guy gives us some like extra stuff like usual. And both me and Gordon have like eaten pretty much our fill already. Like we already overextended ourselves to try to eat all the food. And now this guy brought us out like extra shit. Like I don't know if it was 2 or 3 rolls or something. So
and you have to eat it. You can't.
Yeah.
Not.
And I look at Gordon and I'm like, hey, listen, I was like, let's just try to be polite and eat the food. And Gordon just looks at me and he goes, Gary, he goes like, and Gordon's a big eater.
Big
like,
guy. Yeah.
Not as much now. Actually, this is actually when he was lighter. This is like when he was 170 pounds. But Gordon was like ate a shit ton. And actually back then I felt like he ate more than he eats now, which is crazy. But he would eat like fucking 5 Big Macs and shit back to back, like no problem. So Gordon's like, man, I'm full. And like, I guess I should have taken that as a sign that like, okay, like he's actually full because he'd never said that before ever in his life. But he's like, I'm full. I'm like, Gord. I'm like, he brought us out more food. I was like, this is like a nice dude. He's like very good to me. He like always gives me free shit. I was like, let's just be polite and fucking, he's going to think we hate his food if we don't fucking eat it. Right. So I argue with Gordon for like a good 5 minutes, and eventually Gordon's like, okay, like I'll try to eat some of the sushi because I already ate.
This is hilarious. You guys going back and forth from eating some sushi.
And he
for 5 minutes
takes one piece of sushi and he puts it in his mouth and he tries to chew it and he just throws it up in a napkin. And I just remember screaming at him. I'm like, you're so fucking disrespectful, you piece of shit. I'm like, this guy is so nice to us. Were you really mad
or were you fucking making fun of him?
I was a little bit mad. I thought he was being a pussy. Personally.
He was food drunk at that time.
I thought he was being a little bit of a pussy. I still stand behind my actions.
Like you did on me? Did you go bad on him? Did you flip out on him?
Yeah, for sure. Gordon will probably tell the story and say that it's much more severe than it actually was, but I definitely was pissed. I was like, you fucking.
And what did he do?
I was like, I'm never paying for a meal for you again, you fucking Irving, piece of shit.
That's
Did
awesome.
he end up eating more? Or no.
No, he fucking spit it out. People wonder sometimes, and I think to myself, like, why Gordon is the way that he is. And then I just think to myself, I'm like, yeah, I probably had a lot to do with that. like my younger years, because like I was a certain way and then I grew, into something else. But like Gordon got that, like that was like what he was raised by essentially, it was like me, coming up until
Was raised
like,
by you.
yeah, like, well, I mean, dude, like, I mean, we'll have Gordon on one day and he can talk about his family another day. But like, I mean, I was probably like his first, like, well, maybe second male role model, like in his life. Like, other than that, like, dude, it was rough for him, So, I don't know, man. Sometimes I see some of the stuff that he posts and I see his mentality and I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, I was definitely responsible for like at least 50% of this. And now I have no way of bringing him back.
This is like Star Wars where you feel bad because you brought him to the dark side. But then he actually took that and surpassed the fuck out of you.
Exactly. He took whatever I said and like just brought it to like the nth degree. And it just keeps running with it. And I'm like, oh boy.
He owns it. He fucking owns it.
I mean, it's done great for him. So, I mean, in some ways, I guess, it's not a bad thing, but I'm proud. Yeah, we still got to do that one day. He lives near me now, so I could actually just go right over his house and we could just do the podcast from his house. So
yeah, that'd be cool if you guys are in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we do him and Big Gord. Have you ever met Big 100%. Gord, Frankie?
No.
Oh, dude, it's just.
I only see him in videos.
It's fucking amazing, dude. We got to do it one day.
Does Nikki live with him?
Yeah, Nikki lives with him right now. He just moved in like 2 days ago.
How come?
His mom's moving to Florida.
Oh, because Nikki lived with his mom.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have thought that Nikki would live in Gordon's house.
Initially, they all lived at so their parents got divorced. I forget what age they were. But when their parents got divorced, Gordon's dad kept the house. And Gordon was living there, Gordon's dad and Nikki, and the mom left and got like an apartment nearby. And then like after a little while, I think Nikki moved in with his mom or whatever. So it's just the way that it crumbled,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, and then I think, Gord moved to New York, that's why I think he left. Gord moved to New York, and I guess Nikki wasn't like 100% ready to like go live in the city or anything like that yet. So.
Oh, like NYC?
Yeah. And then now they live 20 minutes. They live 20 minutes north of me, maybe 30 minutes, something like that. I forget what the name of the town is. Caldwell. I think it's Caldwell, New Jersey. So it's a really nice. It's a really nice place, dude. The fucking house is beautiful. So
yeah,
maybe one day when my taxes are in order, I could actually buy a house, but it won't be nearly as nice as that one.
Taxes.
Gary, I think you should spend your earnings differently.
Yes.
You should definitely do more of just like indulge in just alcohol, substances, women.
I think you should wait till he stops fighting before that. Personally.
Yeah.
I think, but I think he's already doing all right.
I think you should invest in memories.
I really
bring me along.
It's very important to me to have stone animals outside my house, gargoyles of some sort, perhaps a lion, a dragon, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd like to have castle walls, or at least a gate and a moat.
I was gonna say, would the moat be in there? Because
the moat has
like without
be.
the moat,
a must.
Kind of, it's like,
Dude, a moat is a must.
I've seen castle walls before, but a moat.
Yeah. When I was a little kid, so we had like an acre of property in Jackson. I actually lived in a log cabin, and up till age 9, and in the backyard was just like all woods.
The hair makes more sense now.
I would go in the woods and I'd fucking, I had like a little fort back there. It was like an old chicken coop or some shit that the people previous to us had. So I dug with like a shovel all around the outside of it and filled it with, I would use like clippers to clip the thorns, like the thorn bushes. And I filled the fucking whole thing with thorn bushes and then covered it with leaves. That was like my moat in case anybody tried to get into my fucking fort. They would step into the fucking thorn bushes.
Fuck yeah.
Did you get anyone?
Traps.
Did you get anyone? Did you get anyone? No.
I mean, there wasn't really anybody trying to sneak into my pool.
You know that reminds me of something that I used to do when I was little. I used to grab sea urchins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to grab like a bucket full of sea urchins.
This is
and I
Dominican
used to
Republic shit.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
used to strategically hide them like under, like I used to make like little ditches in the sand, like little trenches, and I used to lightly cover them with sand and just wait till people stepped on them.
You're such
and,
a
like hide
fucking
behind trees.
scumbag.
I was such a little asshole, dude, and I would get all the fucking tourists in the beach, all of them. I got all of them.
I love it. That's
How many
amazing.
vacations did you fuck up as a kid?
Dude,
The sea urchins
tons.
are like poisonous, right? Like
And
isn't that
dangerous,
fucking-
yeah.
No, well, they're not poisonous, but they'll prick you, and that thing like stays under your skin.
Yeah,
Like,
you
you
like
have
get
to
it
actually-
like infects your skin though. Like it fucks you
Well,
up.
if you leave it in there, yes, yeah,
Fuck.
yeah, 100%.
He's like, I never thought. I don't think about that. I didn't think about that.
I was like 10 or 12, dude. I was such a little asshole.
I
There was
love it.
there was
Love it.
also like an ice cream shop that used to be like full of tourists, and I would order like a couple of scoops of chocolate ice cream, and
Yeah.
I used to put like little bits of chocolate ice cream in the chairs,
Yeah.
so people would sit on them, and when they would stand up, it would seem like they shat their pants.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, did a
Well,
bunch of shit when
You're
Wow.
you're that kid. Cool.
I'm back. Yes.
Wow.
You're that kid. Yeah, okay.
Love it.
Current events.
Eyewitness News, where news comes first.
Did you guys see Brian Callen from the Fighter and the Kid podcast being accused of sexual misconduct by four ladies?
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't look into it yet. but
I'm
I
a big fan of Brian Callen.
I love that dude. He's so funny.
Wait, have you ever seen, before you say you're not a fan of him though, have you ever seen his original stand-up, like his first stand-up special?
No, I said I'm a big fan of his.
Oh, you are a big fan. Okay,
Big
I was
fan.
like,
No, big
this dude,
fan.
his
I
first
love him.
stand-up special, I remember
Right.
seeing that as a kid, and that shit was hilarious. He like pretends to be like a horse or something. It was so fucking good. It was so
yeah,
good.
he's really
I
funny.
remember him
dude,
from the Mad
animated.
TV days, man. He was
Yeah.
he was awesome on that.
Yeah. So they claim that he forced himself on them, and they go back as far as 1999.
I read these ones. These are different than the Leo ones. The Leo ones are like, it's Twitter DMs. Like you can't really, you're dead in the water there. This
Sure.
is kind of like with this one. It's kind of like chicks' opinions about them. They're just saying what happened. There's not really any proof about it. He's denying it top to bottom. So
Oh yeah, he came out with a statement saying that he never did that.
yeah.
Yeah.
This one chick says that he was trading stage time for sex.
Yeah, I read that too.
Hmm.
I mean, listen, I don't know.
Of course, we don't know.
him. I don't know
You
him.
can't
But like
vouch for the dude.
I said, this one's different. This one's different than Dalia. Like it's
I will
different.
I will say this though, and this is a part of the conversation that I've had with other people, some of them like-minded, other ones that have differing opinions or whatever the case may be. But I do think that it's important that there's two sides to the conversation. So like, all right, so let's say some sort of misconduct was happening, right? And he's offering stage time for sex, right? Okay. Now, isn't there something to be said for if you take that offer? Like, is he the only one that's at fault for that? I just want to, from a moral and ethical perspective, I'm asking an actual question here. Like, I want to know, what do you guys think? Like when somebody has some sort of power, right?
Yeah.
And they have the power to, okay, like, I don't know exactly what the accusation is, but let's just make one up. Let's say,
So you're saying that both parties agree?
No. So what I'm saying is like, okay, so let's just make something up. Forget about whatever the accusation actually is. Let's say he's running an open mic or something like that, and he said, like, or there was a situation where he was asked, or he said, or whatever the case may be, whatever it was, resulted in a girl being able to do that open mic because she had sex with him and she got her 10 minutes or whatever that she wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Okay. But she chose to do it. Right. Okay. Is he the only one at fault there?
That's what I'm asking. That's what I said. I said, where did both parties agree? Did he offer and did she accept the offer?
That's exactly. Well, of course. I
So
mean, how
that's-
else?
that's-
Otherwise, it's just pure rape. Like it's not even a
So
question.
I don't see that any different than being an escort or being like a prostitute because it's currency.
Sure.
You exchange
Sure.
something for something.
Sure. This is where I have like a little bit of an issue. Like I recognize that, it's an abuse of power, obviously, right? Like, okay, like should we or shouldn't we be doing that? Like, no, probably is the answer, right? But
Right.
one and the same, I find it hard to like hear someone tell that story and be like, oh yeah, I was offered a position and like, I gave him a blowjob. And then to say like, that they were somehow victimized in that situation because like, hey man, you had every ability to get to that open mic situation the right way, right? Like you could have earned your way there. That would have been one way to do it. But you chose to give somebody a blowjob in order to get there, right?
You could have declined the offer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
but
could have
that's
said-
like
you could have
saying
said no.
Harvey Weinstein and like Gwyneth Paltrow rubbing out Henry Weinstein got her into these roles or whatever. And like, yeah, she had agreed to do it.
Yeah.
But like, it's still not like I can't.
I'm not
I can't
saying it
split
takes-
the blame.
I'm not saying it takes anything away from the negative action that is the misconduct to begin with. But what I am saying is I think that there's a other side to the story and another part of it where there is some blame where it's like, hey, you were a person who chose to take, like, for example, like a cop takes a bribe. Like I offer a cop money to, get me out of a ticket or whatever the case may be. Like I am fucked up for offering the bribe, but the cop is also fucked up for taking the bribe. No?
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah, but that's the opposite because you're not in the position of power. That's the difference there.
Well,
like,
but I am
the
because I
cop
have
is-
money. But I am because I
Yeah,
have
but you're
money.
not because I have literal control over what is going on with the next stage of your life. Kind of like how Callan had it too. So Callan was not only giving out. He was. I'm not saying Callan did anything. I'm saying that
Sure.
guy in that position is divvying out
Sure.
like the reward for the service, but he's
Yeah.
also like he's in control there. That's a different.
Well,
get it,
how is that any different than an old man with a bunch of cash, which cash is power,
Sure.
and him having all these young ladies around him that they're
I
not really.
look at this like we don't know the stories. If Callan literally was like running an open mic, say I don't know what the scenario is. He's running
Sure.
an open mic.
Exactly. I'm making
and this
this
girl
up.
comes in and she's we all are. But like I'm looking at it even before you're talking like what he could have said something like, hey, he's like, I don't know, like I got a couple spots, like maybe you can get in there. It's like maybe if we go, let me get to know you. Let's go grab a drink next door, which
Exactly.
is totally okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
And then
100.
she ends up blowing him, and she gets the deal.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
That's a different thing than being
Sure.
like, hey, listen, if you blow me, I'll
Yeah.
get you on there.
Which
is
Which
so
I will
blurred
say
now.
is probably highly unlikely.
Right,
Like
I agree.
the likelihood of somebody actually being like, well, yeah, you can go on set if you blow me, right? Like, I don't
That's
know.
pretty
I'm not
blunt.
saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it
No,
doesn't happen.
definitely
I think
happens.
it's far more likely. I think it's far more likely that the way Chris just described it is the way that it usually happens. Like, I think
Bro,
the way that it usually happens is like, hey, we should fucking hang out. We should do whatever. And then, a chick does a thing, and then you're like, oh yeah, of course you can fucking go on the open mic or whatever the case may be. But anyway, that's not even what I'm debating though. All I'm saying
No,
is,
I
is
know.
that
I pulled
I
up
really
a whole
think
nother
that
scenario.
I really do think that there's like two sides to that, and that like when someone comes out as a victim after getting something of benefit from someone's abuse of power, I think that needs to be a part of the conversation. That's all I'm saying. I'm not necessarily saying that you don't hold the person accountable that abused the power. That's totally reasonable. But I do think that like to act like this person, like let's say somebody gets fucking, let's make it crazy. Like let's, instead of 10 minutes of open mic time, let's like relate it more to, Frankie's answer where like, oh, you got a all expenses paid vacation to fucking Puerto Rico and you got a diamond watch and fucking, brand new fucking Gucci everything. And you slept with some old dude who you really didn't want to sleep with, but you knew he was offering all of those things. And then
I know plenty
afterward,
of girls who
you
do
come
that
out
and
and
never,
you're like,
and
well,
never complain.
I really didn't want to sleep with George, but he bought me all this stuff, and then come out as if you're, a victim. in that sort of scenario.
Like all the playmates that after Hugh Hefner like died or Hugh Hefner like dropped him, they came out and had
I'm
like
just saying there's certainly an exchange taking place there, and it's not just like one person is just taking advantage of someone. Right. That's the way that I look at it. And I think that this part should be part of the conversation. Again, not saying that people that do, that are abusing power shouldn't be held responsible. That's all. I just think that like to ignore that part of the conversation makes it so that like there has to be two people to make that work. Like,
but in this day and age, that part of the conversation is never going to get brought up.
This is that's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, I mean, we're right now. It's like what was the movement before? It was like believe all women. Like that was a thing. Like no matter what they said, believe all women. And then you got I think Joe Biden was someone who was like big on that, and then like he's also sexually harassed.
A creepy motherfucker.
Right? Creepy old guy, and, like has been done a lot of weird things with kids and shit and everything. So like, it's just the where we are right now. Everything is so hot. These guys are getting canceled like that.
Yeah.
It's so easy to cancel people right now. I heard that
which is crazy that we're still doing this. I don't apparently nobody's watching it.
It's just because nobody listens. Listen, like all it's gonna take is for like one day for one of us to like really get big, or the podcast will really get big, and then some nerd will fucking come back and find this podcast or like 6 podcasts ago when I said something and be like, look at what they said, these animals. And then
okay, so
I'm gonna be running for local government, and then this is gonna come out. I am fucking.
So
Exactly.
I saw that Brian Callen is taking a hiatus from the podcast, but my question is why? Why would he do that?
They all do that. They kind of hide out. Dalia fell off the planet.
I think it lets everything cool down. I think it's a smart decision on his part.
The news cycle is so short, especially with everything that's going on. They just hide out for a little bit and come back around. Everybody forgets.
Yeah, I think it's honestly like as far as apologizing is concerned. First of all, fucking.
He said he didn't do it. He said
that's what I'm saying.
Apology, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no apology as far as that's concerned. So. I mean, dude, if he just goes right back and does what he does, right? Like, let's say he books a show, or let's say he gets on his podcast, it's just going to be constant, But if he just stops for like 2 or 3 months, and then let's say somebody else gets accused of sexual misconduct.
It takes the heat off him. Yeah.
Everybody's going to be thinking about that guy. Brian Callen can go back to doing his thing. It's the smart move.
Listen, everybody already forgot about Dalia. Like, I mean, granted, he's fucking canceled. Like he was at the height of his career. He was about to explode. He's fucking done.
Well, he was selling out like big auditoriums.
Dude, he was killing.
Like stadiums.
Yeah, he was gonna be a big deal. Like that was the worst time for that to happen. Callen though, like Callen's Callen. Like he's always been that kind of guy. Yeah. I don't think he's getting canceled on this. Honestly, I think like Garry said, he's just gonna hang out. And he'll come back and he'll be all right. I mean, I like him, and I hope it's not true. I hope it's.
I once sat in for the show for The Fighter and the Kid. We used to sponsor Brendan like a couple of years back, and dude, this guy was so crazy. Like he wanted to take a picture at the end, and he took his pants off and was fixing like his boxers, and he's like, "What? I have a big piece," and he like flashed us his dick.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. That's
pretty
cool.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool. Like after that, I was like, damn, dude, like this guy, the cojones on him.
Yeah.
This guy hangs dom. I appreciate that. He's hanging dom.
So Rogan's boys dropping like flies, huh?
Yeehaw.
Did you guys see the explosion in Beirut?
I saw it. I don't really know what the fuck the deal is, but I saw it.
Same.
So the Lebanon prime minister said that 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate had been sitting there unsecured for 6 years in a port warehouse.
Why?
Isn't that the shit that they used for the 9/11 fucking bombing to fucking blow everything up and melt things?
Yeah, dude. I think it was for like weapons. It was like a warehouse for like weaponry.
Oh, yeah.
And that shit just fucking blew the fuck up.
That fucking video looked like a movie. Like the fucking mushroom cloud and everything. Like.
So the death toll has reached at least 135 deaths and at least 5,000 injured.
Wow, that's actually a lot less than I thought. But 5,000 injured
are
is high.
still unaccounted for. Thousands.
Dude, if you said 135,000, I would have been like, yep. Like,
Yeah, I heard
know
like
what-
up to like 15 miles away, windows were breaking and stuff from the explosion.
Did I send you guys a clip of the kids with the nanny?
No.
That's like chilling. So they're like sitting in like a studio apartment, and all of them are staring out the window at, I guess, the explosion, and they're just looking out the window, and in a matter of seconds, the window just crashes on their faces.
Jesus.
From like the blast impact. It's like one baby and two toddlers, and the nanny's like sitting on a couch, and all of them get hit in the face and fall back.
Fuck.
And it's like a home camera catching that footage,
Damn.
and they're like stunned, man. So the nanny
That's
gets up
terrifying.
and they like run to another room, but it's
crazy.
man, I
Send that
can't
for sure.
Imagine myself like in that situation, because you obviously look out the window, and in a
Was
matter
there,
of seconds, your glass
there-
explodes in your face.
Is there a report yet as to how it got ignited?
A component of some chemical in the air, when it hit the ammonium nitrate, it triggered the explosion. I don't know what it was though.
Wow.
They're saying it was random.
I don't know, man. I feel like we're gonna be getting more clarity in the next coming days.
Oh, there's gonna be some conspiracy theories about this shit for sure.
Well, it
There's
is 2020,
no question.
so pretty
No
much
questions asked.
everything goes.
It was
Everything
probably
goes.
5G, maybe coronavirus, one or the other.
I'm gonna say Bill Gates. I think I'm gonna throw the Bill Gates hat in there because it's 2020. So
Yeah.
is this year over yet? What the fuck?
Dude, I don't want it to be over. I want the fucking corona to be over, because it's not. I want the year
Definitely
to
not.
take every corona case away, like,
Yeah.
because if
Yeah,
not,
you're
it's
right.
just
I'm
gonna be
saying it- I'm
it's
saying
just gonna
it.
be
I want this year to be
2021
over,
with like a second
be
wave of cases.
Oh, that's
Dude,
happening.
20
That's gonna happen.
2020 got eaten up, dude. Like it's going by so fast.
It's fucking August. Nothing has happened.
Yes. Yes.
Fucking August. Nothing has happened in the world. It sucks.
And I see that countries like Spain and Italy are getting like a huge second wave.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Fuck. I thought Italy was like good. Like they wiped out the whole fucking thing.
They killed everybody else.
Italy's gone.
I mean,
Bro.
like people are getting
Rona
this is the
don't
reality
lay
that-
down for nobody.
This
That
is the
bitch came
reality
back.
that I think a lot of people are not willing to face. It is a virus. There is no vaccine. Maybe we'll have one in the future. Who knows?
Not
It's a
going
question
anywhere.
mark, a big question mark at that. No amount of hiding inside houses with modern technology and the way that human beings live now. We don't have 5,000 people in a town and then 50 miles to the next town. Dude, people live right fucking next to each other.
On
We
top of
have,
each
at
other.
the bare minimum, we got to go out for fucking food. There's going to be transmission of these fucking viruses. And you can point your fingers at, New Zealand or fucking wherever that's like a random remote island where there's not a lot of people fucking traveling in and
It's
out.
not here.
Maybe. But dude, if even one person, you drop off one person in that area, I don't care
That's
how
it.
much contract tracing you do, whatever dude, it's all going to explode all over again, man, until there's some
Until
either
the vaccine,
or herd immunity sets in. Of course you're going to have second waves and third wave. Like, what do you think's going to happen? We've all been
Until-
hiding inside our houses. The more you
It's-
open things back up, the more things are going to spread. That's what
Until-
It's gonna take both, and we still have the flu. Flu season's
Dude.
around the
Yeah.
corner. Like, winter here is gonna be fucking awful.
like,
until that
it's gonna
vaccine
happen. It's just
until
going
the
to
vaccine
disappear.
comes out. Yeah.
Even when
No,
the
doesn't-
vaccine comes out, I don't
Viruses
think
don't just go away, man.
No.
It
just,
doesn't
They
work.
fucking mutate. They mutate every year, every season. Like the vaccines are gonna be okay. It's gonna help, but
People have to get used of wearing their masks.
yeah, that's gonna be around for a
That's it.
long time.
Dude,
Gary,
honestly,
let's move to DR, dude. Gary, let's
Yeah,
move to
you
DR.
guys,
Let's open
let's
up. I'll do the
Let's fucking
striking,
do
you
it, man.
You do the grappling, and we'll just fucking make a gym. And
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
We could
Frankie
do a
King.
destination like Tiger Muay Thai.
That's my real dream one day. Is
I
to
think
be
it should
like
be-
a
it
fucking
should be
old man
dragon.
with a stick on top of a mountain, just fucking
Well,
just
that's-
nobody
that's-
around,
That's not
just
what
like
Chris
5
had in mind.
students.
we'll call it Dragon
That's not what Chris had in
MMA.
mind. Chris wanted like a nice spot, like kind of like Tiger Muay Thai next to the beach,
Sure.
with,
I don't know what Tiger Muay Thai
honeys-
is, but it sounds good.
honeys flying in. Like in Thailand, have you seen like those big Thai
Oh,
box places that have
Yeah,
like
the open door.
They
Open door.
basically,
open-
Yeah,
they
they're, like,
basically took
open,
over like
they're nice.
blocks of the city, dude.
Like
Like
the-
they fucking took over entire blocks. There's all kinds of food places and
dude,
the whole fucking.
I want to live. I want to have a farm. I want to like have a big ass farm. And
You
we
could do
make our
that
own
here,
food
too.
And just fucking cook and have like a fight team of guys who are just
Yes.
absolute fucking
You
savages.
have,
can have
yeah,
both
you,
things
you have
here.
your fight team, and the guys that don't quite cut it, they tend to the cattle, and
And our sparring partners. They're
Into the
sparring partners,
goal.
and they tend to the cattle. Like they're trying to get to the other level of those other guys. Like they're never going
Exactly.
to. We just tell them they will. They're sparring partners. They tend to the fucking the goats.
If you
and
want to
the
get
cows.
good at boxing, you must milk the cow.
Shovel the
Yeah.
shit.
Watch.
Shovel the shit.
you could have levels. You could have levels. Like level 1 entry dudes, they get to milk cows, and they
Yeah.
like all live together in a cottage.
Level 2, they
And
get
those
to
are the
wax
level
Chris's
ones.
Car.
Yeah. Yep.
Wax on, wax off.
Guys, we're working defense today. Defense. Defense today.
And you could be one of those like
Sit there and rub my beard.
Miyagi type dudes, but you could be a little meaner. And you're like,
I'm
okay,
here.
level 1 dudes, all you guys get to eat today is porridge or rice, and feed them like dogs.
And then we
so
eat like
check,
fucking steaks and fucking
check-
goats milk and
check out AKA in Thailand, Chris.
okay. I'm gonna look
Fucking
that up.
nice, man. It's got a sauna, a huge gym room. It's got
See?
like a courtyard with a restaurant, outdoor fight team. It's nice, man. So that's
And
why
then
like
we add Gary's jiu-jitsu to that. Forget it. Like it's the baddest camp in the world.
Yeah, baby.
all right, bitches.
Frankie froze.
Sorry for you
Freezing Frankie.
guys.
You froze on us. All right, you were calling us bitches. Go ahead, you can go back to
No,
that.
did I call you bitches? No, I would never do that.
Weird.
So-
The way when you froze and then came back, the word bitches is the only thing that came out.
All right, I'll check you guys later.
All right.
We're gonna have
Hey,
Damien
guys.
on this
Love
week.
y'all.
I move
Yeah.
Hey.
for no man, no man, no man, no man, no
We'll call it a draw.
no man.
Just a flesh wound, just a flesh wound, just a flesh wound, just a flesh